I'm joined with Tyler and Jen from RootsTech. And, while we're waiting for people to come and confirming that we are streaming, still waiting for that. Tyler, tell us a little bit about you and what you do for Family Search and RootsTech. And seriously, I'm waiting just a minute because I can't tell if we're live.
No, you're good. Thanks, Wendy. I'm so excited to be here. I have watched your show for like the last 4 or 5 weeks and just loved everything. So to be here, it's crazy. So my name's Tyler. I work at Family Search on the events team, and I do marketing. I've always loved marketing ever since college. It's just been something I love communicating. I love writing. So I love being able to do that. And fun fact about me, if I could only eat Oreo ice cream for the rest of my life, I would totally do that. Love it.
Really? Yeah. What brand of Oreo ice cream?
It doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And I'm confirmed we are live. So this is super great. And guys, we're so excited to be here. Tyler, thank you. Jen, tell us a little bit about you and what you do with and or for RootsTech, besides the fact that you are RootsTech.
Definitely not am, but thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Allen, and I work for RootsTech. I actually work for Family Search, just like Tyler, and we are both on the events team, which obviously RootsTech tends to take all of our attention and all of our time, but we love it. You kind of have to be a little bit crazy and in love with events to be part of them because it is a crazy ride. And Tyler, I'm impressed. You taught me something that I didn't know about you. Oreo ice cream. I'm all over it. I love it. I love it. So I live in Utah. I have 3 boys. My oldest is, I have to make sure I get this right, 13. And then my youngest is 8, but guess what? He turns 9 tomorrow. So
happy birthday.
Can we just give a shout out for being in September? Like we've made it.
We made it. We made it. You made it. It felt like triumph.
Exactly. I don't know. Did I say enough about myself? I manage events at Family Search. And so we're so excited to be here with all of you today. Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah. And we are going to talk about RootsTech 2021. And along the way, we are going to just bring in some fun stories. So let us know what questions you have for these two in our comments. And I think before we get right into that, as we wait for people to join from all over the world, we like to invite them to share where they're joining from. You guys, this is kind of fun to think about. So when Tyler, you first started, we sat like in the same section. Yeah. We both worked for a different department, and we were like in the same like cubicle land, and we both left that department and worked for Family Search. And so that was kind of fun. And Jen, we know each other from the scrapbooking days.
It's been a while, Wendy.
Making memories. If you were a scrapbooker, if any of you still exist, Making Memories was the it brand at the time. And Jen ran events and did stuff for them. And those trade shows were memorable. And I remember the one where there was a scooter in the booth. There was
we had butterflies hanging from the ceiling. Yep.
Yes. So it's been really fun to kind of have experiences with you both of you over the time that I've been here. And so as we're talking RootsTech 2021, we want to bring in some fun stories and what it's like working on the RootsTech team. Jen talked a little bit about it, but it's different because it's high pressure. And you have an actual in-person experience where you're delivering and you have a lot of people that you work with. So before we get into details, tell us what RootsTech 2021 is going to be like. And Tyler, we'll let you take it and then we'll hand it to Jen. But drum roll, give us the big announcement.
This is what we've been waiting for, Wendy, was this show to be able to tell everyone that RootsTech 2021 is going to look different than any event we've ever done in the past. We've had 10 years worth of events in Salt Lake City and some in London, but because of situations now, a pandemic, large crowds just isn't something that we're doing these days, and for good reason. And so RootsTech 2021 is going to be our first completely virtual, 100% virtual, 100% free conference.
Hold on.
Totally free.
Free.
100%.
Wow. Okay. Everyone, anywhere, at the same time. So give us a little more about the reason it's a big deal that it's free, Jen, and then we'll get into the details.
Sure.
Yeah. Why are we doing this for free?
Oh my goodness. So the second RootsTech was over last February, do you guys remember that was only what, 5-6 months ago that we were all gathered in the thousands?
Yes. It was so great. I miss it so much.
We were so lucky. We held that at the skin of our teeth. I mean, it couldn't have been better timing, right? We feel bad for all of those other event organizers just weeks later that had to cancel what they were doing. So grateful we were able to have it and that we were all safe. So we held the conference, but honestly, hours, days later, we were like, it can't be this way next year. We already know we have to be thinking about what we do. Mm-hmm. So it was really the concept of how do we transform what we normally do at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City to a virtual experience. And the first thing that just popped out flat on our faces was really the opportunity to make it global. So when you remove a time and a location of something, then the sky is the limit. And that's really what drove us for weeks later as we started developing the early plans for this and thinking there are a lot of people in the world that cannot come to Salt Lake City. And by the way, all of you who do come from all over the world and join us, we love you so much. And we're so sad we won't see you. But just think of the opportunities as we really start looking to all the places around the world who are interested in celebrating their family, in connecting with their cousins, just like you do in Salt Lake every year. And we just get so excited about the opportunities when we start looking at different languages, celebrating cultures around the world. We'll get more into that later, but just so many opportunities as we look at this and really look at the global nature of it.
Oh, I love that. I love Tyler talking about it's virtual, and Jen, the fact that it's for everybody. And so I think something that's important is the way you used to describe it. It's not about us. It's about how can we sit with people where they're at. And I think that's exciting. And this has totally changed everything you've ever done. And so what does it look like to come up with a completely different plan, and just give us like a little bit of information, like how has it been working together and all these ideas? And you're both laughing. So Tyler, talk to us, and then as you're talking, you can share details of time and things like that, because I think we're interested in those details, but I think what we're really interested in is like the story behind the details.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. And if any of you that are watching have ideas, we want to hear, because we don't have all the answers yet, unfortunately, Wendy. I wish we did. But honestly, it's been, you look at, we're lucky in the sense that we've had a chance now to look at a lot of other virtual conferences and virtual experiences and learn from them. There's some really cool conferences out there, whether it's in a business space or a scrapbooking space, whatever it is, right? There's things we can learn. And so we as a team are doing our best to attend these other events, to take notes, to take screenshots, and just see what others are doing really well, and hopefully apply that to RootsTech Connect here in a few months. So we've had a lot of that. And then aside from that, it's just a lot of trusting each other, working with each other, listening to each other, listening to people that have come to RootsTech before. We're trying to just listen and trust each other and work on this together. Would you say that, Jen?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Tyler said, we've been watching more virtual events than we ever care to admit, but all of you have also turned your social life into virtual, right? So you're all learning right there with us and understanding the goods and the bads and the challenges. There's definitely challenges that we're trying to overcome, but just looking at those opportunities and trying to make it the best experience possible in a 2D world. Again, we know, one of the biggest challenges is creating the same energy. When you walk into the Salt Palace, you just can't deny the energy and the excitement and everything that's going on. And it's hard to do that when you're sitting alone in your room with your computer and trying to think, okay, what experience do I go into next? So we know those challenges are there, and we have a lot of fun ideas. So,
okay. Well, I think we want to get to those, but Tyler, tell us like the details, the date, how to register, and things like that.
So the conference will take place live online February 25th through the 27th next year. 25th through the 27th. Then it will also be available after that. So if you can't make it all during those days, we understand content will still be there. We are asking people to register just so that they can get all the news and information and updates from us. And it's pretty simple. You can go to rootstech.org. And that'll be in the comments. Just go there. Registration is honestly like a 15-second process. And that'll just allow you to get the reminders and save the dates on your calendar so that you don't miss it. Okay.
And so you mentioned the dates. How are you handling time zones?
That's a good question.
Who wants to answer that one?
Yeah, exactly. So, time zones are definitely a big thing. We've had a whole, group of people analyzing, when people are awake, when we're sleeping, when we're at work, or all the times of days. And so there will be, we're planning kind of a virtual main stage experience that will bring, just like at RootsTech, but it'll bring the inspirational, messages and speakers. There'll be fun, there'll be entertainment. We'll be celebrating a whole lot of heritage and culture as we go through that experience as well. And that will be, we don't know exactly yet, but it will be going for a period of time. So for 24 hours, for example, you might jump on and it could be at 2 a.m. your time or 4 p.m. or 10 a.m. And maybe the languages and the feel change a little bit as we rotate through the time zones and we kind of follow the sun mentality. So I think you're going to see some really fun and exciting things that, again, even if you jump on it, I don't know, if maybe you can't sleep. So at 2 a.m. you're joining us and it's not totally your culture or even the language you speak, but it's still fascinating and entertaining as you watch, again, working out all those details. We would love your ideas if you have them, by the way, but we do know that we would like this kind of follow the sun mentality at least some point during those 3 days of the live event.
Okay, so rootstech.org is where you go to register. Yep. There's 3 days. There's going to be the live stage or the main stage kind of live. And then talk to us about classes and also Expo Hall. Tyler, do you want to take it? You can choose which one you want to talk to.
One of the things I'm most sad about is not being able to be physically in an Expo Hall next year. I love the Expo Hall. If you've ever been to RootsTech, there's just so much excitement, right? And passion and enthusiasm. And Wendy, that's where you and I get to hang out and meet so many people, right? And it's fun. So we understand that that's an important part of RootsTech, and we're doing our best to move it online. And still, there's so many great organizations and partners and that we have throughout this industry that are going to be a part of RootsTech and still be there to display their services and have teaching and training on how to use their product. So if you're already a user, maybe you can dive deeper with them, or you can be exposed to new products and new technologies and solutions to help you solve your family history problems or your family story problems. So that's still going to be a big part of it.
Life problems. They're going to be like, from life.
Right.
Yeah. And is everything going to be recorded and available after? Like if it's live, will it still be recorded?
Yes. Yeah. So if you're not able to join, which we totally understand, we'll have things available recorded.
Okay. And Jen, you help us understand about the presentations, and also people are asking, because we've got a really excited crowd here. This is great. When will they be able to see information about who's presenting, who's keynoting, all of those things? So help us know how you're going to handle classes and when people will be able to find out what's being presented.
Yeah, perfect. So as all of you know, RootsTech, the most important thing we really do are all the classes. Because again, if you walk away from the conference without having learned anything, then we've kind of failed, right? So the classes and the how-tos and the learning. So first, let me just share a little bit that one thing we are doing with this virtual conference is really trying to transform the way that learning has been taking place. So at RootsTech, typically classes are 60 minutes, and then we've got it all end at the same time so that you all get up and you all move and go to a different classroom. But now that we're not in a location, we don't have those bounds anymore. So we're looking at 5-minute how-tos, 10-minute demos, 20-minute classes. Honestly, we're hoping that no classes are longer than 20 minutes. Because let's be honest, we're all sick of looking at the computer and we want to learn fast.
Are we, yes, is there going to be like movement breaks in between, like get up and stretch your leg?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, like literally we might be doing like Tai Chi together or, whatever your thing is, you'll have a chance to go get your drink and your soda and your snack. So really trying to transform learning. There will be a lot of classes available in English, obviously, but we're looking at possibly up to 10 different languages,
Wow.
with at least a few of the classes. Everything won't be in all 10 languages, but really looking at the way we can bring in some languages there. So regardless, the on-demand part of the conference will just have hundreds of classes for you to learn at your own pace, at your own level, however you like to learn, if you like the 5 minutes or you like the 20-minute deep dives. And so we're really excited about that opportunity, actually, because again, we don't want to, I love PowerPoint, but 160 slides later, I'm done. Right.
Yes.
So really, really working on transforming that a little bit. And I'm really excited about that part. So that was about the classes.
Yes.
You also asked me something else that now I can't remember.
I think you answered it.
Okay.
Oh no, when will people be able to see what's going to be presented, keynotes, all that kind of thing? Like just drop some dates and then if you have to change it.
Well, I was just going to say, is it fair for me to say, I don't know. I mean, we are working towards it. Yeah. We're hoping that in the fall, I know we're already in the fall, I guess. But really October, November timeframe, we want to be able to at least start sharing some of those names. The biggest thing to learn today for all of those who are watching is you've got to go to rootstech.org and fill out the very simple form, or you can answer the little questions on the cute little bot in the corner. And it takes 15 seconds, but then that way you can get all the information as we get it. Because like Tyler said, I wish I could say we have it all figured out, but there's still some things we're working out. So we would love to be able to email you all the updates as we go.
Okay. So guys, if you're watching, register. You can also follow RootsTech social channels, which we can put in the comments as well. And if you're not, you should be, because Tyler runs them and he's a superstar. Now we've got a really important question and it's people want to know about the merchandise. Can they still get merchandise? And talk to me, since it's global, like how big are you going with the merchandise? Are you shipping internationally? Or what? Yeah. Tyler, do you want to take that?
I will take this because whoever asked that question, they are after my heart. I am a merchandise person. So that's the best part, right? Yes to all of those questions. We are going to transition the RootsTech store that was a physical store to an online store. There's a lot of things we've got to figure out in order to do that and hoops to jump through, but we're working through all of that process right now. And so there will be an online store where you can buy some pretty cool merchandise. And trust me, we're working on some new designs and some cool things.
That's awesome.
And shipping, right? We'll have to figure a lot of that out still. But there is going to be a pretty cool store with some pretty cool swag.
I think the important thing here, Wendy, is we need a cut down of that little video segment to prove to other people that the store is really important to people.
And the store is so important. People are like, they're demanding to know the merchandise. And someone just jumped in and I think it was Amy who said the bot was really fun and easy. So try that out. And I mean, if you are like me and you're a super fan, what would you like to see in the store? Like what types of things? Like let us know in the comments. RootsTech does a fantastic job of listening to their guests, and so we are here to listen. And Tyler, he mentioned he loves merchandise. And here's a funny thing. Tyler just repainted his office that he's in. It used to be like a cobalt kind of blue, would you say?
I don't know what the previous owners did at blue, but yeah, it's not anymore.
But behind you, you have some framed things, and I think you should just tell us what they are.
Oh boy, you're putting me on the spot now. Okay, so when I realized we're gonna be working from home for a while, I'm like, you know what, we got to make this a cool office. And so my wife jumped in, she helped paint and stuff. But I said, the wall behind me, I want to put some of my favorite ads there. I'm a marketing guy, I love ads. And so, I found some cool ads that I've liked before and some quotes. But some of the ads you'll see back there are from RootsTech London or RootsTech Salt Lake. So I'm a marketing guy. What can I say?
Okay, so it looks like, and I know this because we work together, but one of the ads features Donny Osmond as a keynote speaker. So who wants to how are you handling keynotes? Are you bringing big speakers? Which one of you wants to answer that?
I can take it if you want.
Okay, take it then.
Tyler's like, oh. So the fun thing about this whole process is it's really made all of us think about our jobs so differently. And I have to give props to the team who works on our main stage experience, because they've been working so hard on looking at this a little differently and making sure that we look at other keynote speakers that are around the world that are inspirational, share aspirational messages, and really provide a very unique and cool message, and tie in homelands and places where they are from or they have affinity to. And so we love that opportunity there. So, just working on these keynote speakers and picking them from all over the world has been a really big thing. So we honestly might have more speakers than we usually do at RootsTech, because again, when we're chasing the sun and we have regions and cultures all over the world, we might end up with some more than we usually do, but really excited for that. So many unique individuals that, they may not be the biggest names that but I promise you the message they share will move you. And that's what we're really looking for this year. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Did I drop off for a minute? Did you?
I think so, but you're back and I'm so happy.
That's never happened. So I'm so sorry. I have no idea what happened. I think we're still on. So, okay. And people, let us know in the comments, like if there's someone that you would like to hear from. I know if it's up to Tyler, it would be like sports people, Emmett Smith. Did you have anything to do with Emmett Smith?
I got my wish with Emmett Smith, right? So that was awesome.
And he doesn't get to ask anymore because he got his wish for a while.
He got his wish. Yeah. And then we had that famous ukulele player. How do you say his name?
Jake Shimabukuro.
Okay, yeah, and we all know that was Brandon's like dream keynote. So Jen, if you could have your dream keynote, who would it be?
Oh, that is the funniest question for you to ask me. I am not like a fan, I'm not like a fansy running around, loving people. That's just not my thing. But honestly, if you gave me Chris Hemsworth, I'd be all over it. So
really.
Or who's the other guy who Guardians of the Galaxy? Remember, I wanted him to come to speak at RootsTech. Yeah, because he's freaking awesome. Yeah.
That is so fun. Let us know who your dream keynote guest would be, aka dinner guest, aka friend. Okay, this is something else that you guys are really known for, and I think it differentiates this conference from other types of experiences in our industry. This idea of entertainment and world-class entertainment. We've had dancers, we've had all sorts of different people come and share of their talents. What will that look like in 2021?
This one is still kind of in the works. And one thing I'll say is we have a lot of interesting people that, whether they're an entertainer or a normal speaker or actor, who might come and be a keynote type speaker for us. But a lot of our entertainment, believe it or not, is going to come from all of you. And this is our hope, right? So we want to celebrate you and your cultures and your family and your stories from all over the world. And so we're really going to be celebrating. We have music this year, food, dance and costume, cultures and traditions. And so you're going to have an opportunity to share your story when it comes to any one of those activities or experiences. And so you're going to see stories and experiences of people all over the world as they talk about what celebrating their family or connecting with other people through music might look or feel like. Or we might just drop in on somebody eating dinner and what dinner looks like in their household, right?
I love that idea.
A little different, a little more authentic. We're really looking at a low production here, honestly. We want user generated. We would love stories from all of you. So when you start hearing us ask for those kinds of things, don't be too surprised. Start dusting off your iPhone camera and learning how to use that and take a picture or video. We're really excited to celebrate those kinds of things from all over the world. Mm-hmm. and really have them come to us rather than us feeding it to everybody else. Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. And I have to tell you, Teresa has just made a suggestion for keynotes, and she thinks Jennifer Garner or Reese Witherspoon would be fantastic.
Yes.
So great.
Keep
those coming, people. We love this conversation. And we're also having people ask questions about how are you going to sort of serve sort of underrepresented populations that maybe don't have a lot of research records, traditional records, or are lesser known, and maybe we want to make sure and give them their needs voice. So what is, how are you handling that to make it global? What are you doing? And I know what you're doing, but I think you should answer. Who are you working with to make sure that you are serving as many people as possible?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And Wendy, what you said, to make it global, but what we're also trying to do is make it local. So to you, right? Recognizing that me here, I don't necessarily know what someone in Zimbabwe, would need to learn about their family history. And so we're working with, Family Search has field offices all over the world. Mm-hmm. People who are local and know the area and know the customs. And we're working with those teams to develop localized content that is really going to be relevant for the people in those areas. And so that's what we're excited about.
That is exciting. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because there are people, like you said, all over the world. And we were chatting with Jonathan this morning on Instagram and talked a little bit about RootsTech London. And so I'd love for you guys to talk a little bit about what that was like last year, and how would you say that you were able to learn a little bit more about making something global and local through that experience? So tell us a little bit, Jen, about RootsTech London, and then maybe Tyler, you can take that localized question.
So we loved London. By the way, anyone who's on and joined us there, give us a little shout out and comment on what you loved most about London, because it was one of the most incredible experiences as we took RootsTech on the road for the first time to a new audience and a new group. And there was magic in the air. Can I say that? I mean, yes! It was just palpable wherever you went. Everyone was just so eager and so hungry for information. And it was so fun to provide that experience that we've seen in Salt Lake City and see that it still works in another part of the world. And there were so many hard things, again, about planning that. I feel like we're going through that all over again with this virtual event. It's kind of back to the drawing board. But yet the outcome of that was so powerful as we really dove deep into understanding what another culture would want out of a live event like that, and changing and pivoting so that it attracted to them. And I would just say that London was a really incredible and personally incredible experience for me, but almost everybody, I think, who experienced it saw that as well. So luckily we had that little bit of an experience to now, no problem. We tackled one country.
Now you're going to tackle all of them all.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. And Tyler, how do you think that, preparing and planning for London and working with global partners helped you kind of for this, which I know you guys are still very much, in the middle of planning?
Yeah. I think it all comes back to the message of RootsTech, period, right? What it's there for is we realize that we're all part of something bigger. But when we connect and help each other, we're all better together. And that's what I learned from working with London. It was a humbling thing, because I realized I don't know what works internationally in terms of marketing and how to do this, right? But I have friends and colleagues who do know that, and we relied on each other. We trusted each other. And so at the end of the day, we took our own medicine of what we teach at RootsTech, and we worked together, and it was cool.
Oh, I love how you said that. And I have to say, I shared this morning, but when you guys were in London, I was getting ready I was in Asia, and I had a really, really unfortunate injury, and I had to come home early, and I was going to a couple other countries for a work project that I had to miss out on. And as I was leaving the hospital, which you never expect to say when you're in Tokyo or any place, I called some colleagues who were in London with you guys to kind of figure out who they were going to send in my place. And within a few hours, I had my global family search family, the people in Japan who were there, and not just people from family search, but connections, and KG, who is in the Japan office, and his team, like they came and they helped. And in London, there were people thinking about me and helping make sure that I could get home. In Japan, there were people, facilitating, taking me to the airport. And then in the States, there were people sending people out to replace me. And I think, as I mentioned when I was talking to Jonathan, it's important to understand that when you join RootsTech, when you join Family Search, like, you are a part of us. And when you come to RootsTech the last couple of years, we have relatives at RootsTech, and we look for ways that we can find connections. And that's exactly what is exciting about RootsTech 2021. So think about, and I think, Jen, like, are we going to do a fun cousin connection kind of experience? And I think you can just promise whatever, and we'll let Todd and his team know.
Yep.
But how can we how is this going to be facilitated? Because we want everyone to be a part of this amazing family, and it's you guys are all welcome. Like, everyone be a part of our family. How can we make that happen virtually?
Gosh, this is one of the first things we knew we had to tackle, because I know there are people who come to RootsTech now almost only to just find their cousins and look around on that app and see what connections they have and meet new people. And so we know that's very important. So yeah, any of my family search friends out there who are listening, will you just call Craig and let him know that that's going to happen again in our virtual? No, we have big plans. We think we can make it work. It'll look and feel a little bit different, obviously, but there will still be an opportunity. And again, one thing that we've seen that we know we want is just the ability to connect with people during this event, not just sit in your room or couch or wherever you are and watch, but to interact and be a part of it. And we've seen those are some of the magical pieces that might be missing from some other virtual conferences. And we now know why, because it's actually really hard to figure out that part. But we promise we're going to give it in one way or another, a way for you to connect with presenters, with exhibitors, with each other, to meet your cousins and chat with them, whether it's just a chat or a video chat, whatever makes sense for you. So we're working on all of those aspects so that you can.
Awesome. And we had people asking about the cousin connecting with cousins. So, and we also have people wanting to know if they have ideas or suggestions. Tyler, should we give him your email? No, we're not going to give him your email. But
I'll give it. No, but yeah, if you have ideas for classes, suggestions, content, any of that, we want to hear it. You can get a hold of us a couple ways. One, on social media, for sure. You can send us a message on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're all those places. Or you can send us an email if you'd rather at info@rootstech.org. We check all of those places every single day and respond. So we would love to hear from you.
Yes. Okay. You guys, you heard it. They want to hear from you. And now's the time, because you're still, like, some of the questions we asked, the answers were, I don't know. So you could have a chance to kind of impact things. As we're thinking about, next year, what is the thing or the planning part that you feel like will be most different because it's virtual? Is there one thing that stands out as, like, we've never done this before because we've always been in a physical space? You talked about things kind of running possibly around the clock, and some things being on demand so you can watch it at any time. People won't be stuck with, like, a schedule and they have to hustle from room to room. But is there anything else that you are, thinking we could have never done this except that we can now because it's virtual?
Well, that's such a good question, Wendy. I would say, the biggest differences are obviously that it's free. That's our big difference this year. And I think the thing that's going to look and feel the most different is the expo hall, right? Because again, that one is so based on the energy, but we're working so hard with our exhibitors to come up with virtual swag, or fun things that you can still gather and collect in your little conference bag. Just some fun things that will engage, all those groups. And then I hope at the end of the day, the biggest thing we can say that was a win and successful is that we are connecting people all over the world. Because we all have similarities. We all have the same, differences. We all celebrate things in different ways, and yet we're all still human beings, and we all want that connection. And so again, I hope that will be the biggest difference. In Salt Lake City, we can all connect, but it's not all over the world all the time, right? We have 40 countries that come to Salt Lake City, but it might only be 5 or 10 people from each one of those countries. If we can connect the world in a really unifying way, then that will be a huge win for us.
Oh, I love that. Let's connect the world. And people are wondering, is there like a cap on registration, or is this just, let's make it as big as possible, share it with every person you know, and recruit your own RootsTech squad to watch it with you?
Yes, Wendy, you could be the marketing manager. That's great. Yeah, share with everyone, right? That's the reason why we're doing it free and virtual, is because we can reach, in theory, everyone. So share it. We would love to reach.
And anyone can register. Is there an age limit? I mean, obviously not on the older end, but can kids register? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, kids are welcome to register, or if you'd rather have your parent register and then watch with them, totally great. It's going to be, that's a great option. We're going to have content for kids as well, and youth. We did that at RootsTech in Salt Lake for the first time.
Everybody remembers the youth night.
Yeah, how could you forget, right?
Even the news reported on it. It was so memorable.
So we recognize that's the important. Yep.
So if you know what I'm talking about in the comments, let us know. A question about classes. Blake is wondering, will there be like syllabi and traditional types of things like that available as well?
Yeah, I mean, even though we're transforming the learning and they'll be shorter and a little bit longer, there will still be syllabi from the classes or from the presenters. You'll be able to, again, watch at your own pace. You can pause every 5 minutes and go practice what they're talking about. That's what's so interesting about the virtual world is you don't have to sit in the class anymore. There will be some classes that will be given live, or what we're kind of calling simulive, where the presenter will be live on, during certain times and answering questions as their presentation goes through. So there'll be some fun things like that. But yeah, there will still be syllabi. We're not abandoning, everything, but yes.
And that was a good question, because I think there's a lot of super fans who are like, that's when they really like that. Okay, so we've talked about keynotes, we've talked about Expo Hall, we've talked about classes, we've talked about kind of the entertainment. What other details have we not covered that you think would be fun for people to know about? Is there anything?
There's one thing I would share, Wendy, and part of RootsTech every year, we've tried to have some kind of contest, right, or competition. A couple years ago, we had a cake contest, and we saw some awesome decorated cakes, and I wanted to eat them. But we did a film fest one year, and we had some awesome filmmakers. Yeah. So this year, we're excited to announce that we're going to do what we're calling the RootsTech Song Contest. So if you're a songwriter anywhere in the world, this is for any of you. If you write songs, write music, this is
any
for
language?
In any language. Yep, this is global. Wow. We're going to announce this in a few weeks, and it'll be live online. You'll be able to find it from rootstech.org and write a song about, there will be a theme, but it'll be generally about, connecting and the relationships that we all love and celebrate in our heritage, right? So that'll be your theme, and it's pretty open from there. There's going to be some awesome prizes. I can't spill the beans on what they all are yet, but there's going to be some awesome prizes. So keep an eye for that if you're a songwriter, or tag someone who is.
And Tyler, it's for everybody too. We're going to have different categories for youth or teenagers, for professionals, for novice, all those categories. So it's for everybody. And we hope you really will join in. It doesn't even have to have words either, by the way. If you just want to write some, I don't know, band orchestration or something. We can't wait to celebrate music all over the world. And by the way, music is powerful in a 2D world because you don't need anything but to be able to hear it and it moves you. So we're so excited about it.
Kind of like stories, like you just need to hear or experience it. As we're wrapping up, and people that, everyone watching, if you have any additional questions for Jen and Tyler, let us know. But as we're wrapping up, I wondered if you guys had a fun story of an attendee that came and that maybe you met, or something memorable in your, and Tyler, how many RootsTech have you attended?
Yeah, this last one in February was my 5th, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So
tell us a story.
I do have a cool story. One of my favorite parts of RootsTech is just walking the halls, and I know Jen doesn't always have the time to do that because she's got a lot going on. But I try to take 2 hours every day and just talk to people. Because from a marketing perspective, that's the best research I can do. Mm-hmm. And there was one year I was introduced, you met this young man as well. His name was Bradley. And he was telling us he came because it was his graduation present. That was all he wanted from his parents when he graduated high school. So he's a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and comes to RootsTech. He was probably by far one of the younger ones there, right? Yeah, and paid, right? And so I was just amazed by that young man, and it was so cool to meet him. And we've stayed in touch and still email, and he helps promote RootsTech for us. So it's stories like that I love at RootsTech. Yeah,
someone comes as an attendee and then kind of evolves and becomes they participate as an ambassador or presenter. I know there's lots of stories like that too. People come and they're just so excited by things that they're like, I want to participate. And so Jen, tell us a little bit, if you have a story, great. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was RootsTech is also known for their amazing volunteers. What will that look like? And what can people expect?
Yes. So we have so many people that volunteer and help us out. And honestly, in the last 2 years, has it been 2 years now, that every single person that works for Family Search has been our volunteer. They're kind of told to be our volunteers. So you interpret that however you want. But it has been truly magical, actually, for Family Search. I don't know if this is well known, but Family Search's purpose is to create inspiring experiences for everyone. Mm-hmm. And so I can't even tell you how many inspiring moments come out of RootsTech with our volunteers or our workforce who are helping us. And what we're excited about this year with virtual is that we will have our workforce all over the world, like Tyler talked about, in the fields and working in all sorts of markets, helping us out with that as well. And literally, it's like 800 people, sometimes 1,000 people who are helping us on the back end. For those of you who have joined us at RootsTech the last couple of years, we've all worn really bright blue shirts that say, "Ask me anything." Literally. And it's huge words. Nobody wants to wear them anywhere else because then everyone asks them all sorts of questions. But it really has become one of the most magical parts of our conference as we really look at the customer experience and providing the best customer service we possibly can. And we know that is going to be a big thing with this virtual event too. We want hundreds of people on the back end, whether it's, I don't know how to use my mouse, or I don't know how to, navigate to this class or that class, or I need help with my Swedish ancestry. Whatever it might be, we are building literally teams of hundreds of people right now to be helping you with any possible question you might have during this event. And that part is really exciting.
That is exciting. And it's true. You guys, it's so funny. I was on a walk in my neighborhood and I saw someone on a bike with the Ask Me Anything shirt.
No way.
Person. I tried to flag them down, but they just kept going. They've made their way around. Those shirts are awesome. And the volunteers are fantastic. And there's so many people. So as we're wrapping up, there was one more question that I don't think we answered detail wise. So for things that are recorded or streamed, is closed captioning going to be automatically provided?
It's a great question. And we're still navigating all of that. But yes, the answer for closed captioning is that will definitely be part of this. What's interesting is when you go to the Salt Palace, you kind of have to go live, right, to see 80% of what happens. And then we happen to record a few things, but because everything we're doing is virtual, it will all be recorded. So we're we're really going to end up with a whole lot more content than we ever do. But yes, we are not forgetting the closed captioning option, wanting to take care of those types of scenarios, as well as, like we said, language translations. But we're really hoping not much is translated, but you might see one class that's taught by somebody in English, but then it's also taught by 7 different people in 7 different languages in 7 different countries. That's just an example, but again, we're really hoping all of this comes to you in country, localized, like Tyler talked about earlier. So,
oh, you guys, this is so exciting. As we wrap up, I would love for you to share like maybe one thing, and I know you both have talked about this, what you hope, RootsTech Connect 2021 will be like. But maybe just, a message for those who are participating, and to those who participated and our moderators. We just love the chance that we have to connect with you here each week and doing this on a different day. We will be back, next week on Wednesday at our regular time. But I think it's been so fun to talk with you both and kind of get a little bit of an inside look at RootsTech and what you're hoping will happen. And I think let's make it the biggest, best thing ever. So everyone who's watching, invite people to join, help us all become more connected. And I mean, today, like this is something we all need, right? Lots of us are experiencing isolation in ways we never expected. And not just because of pandemic and quarantine, but because of just kind of things that are happening in the world. This is a way for us to build bridges and hold hands across the world. So join us, right? Join us. Jen, what would you like to leave? What message would you like to leave with those who are watching about RootsTech Connect?
Yeah, I mean, you said it really well, Wendy. We're really just hoping that through all of our sweat and tears, and yes, there are tears, we are just hoping to create an atmosphere where people feel welcomed, that it's open to learning at whatever level you are, and that you'll walk away with this desire to connect with your own heritage and culture, with your own family who might still be living or have already passed. It doesn't matter to us. We just want you to feel the desire to connect. And as we connect with other people, we'll shrink the world a little bit and, just really see how small it really is and how close we really are tied to each other. So excited for that. Family search is so, we're so interested and really intrigued in just making sure everyone feels welcome and connected. And that's our goal really in the end. It's not to hold a flashy event with really cool keynote speakers. Every decision we make and every keynote speaker we pick is deliberate to try and help move the needle in you feeling that desire to jump in. And you mentioned earlier, way early on, Wendy, about how we come with this from the scrapbooking world. It's funny how the worlds are kind of colliding, right? It's the same group, it's the same audience. And whether we were putting paper and stickers together or, just connecting in a virtual event, the desire was the same, was to celebrate family. So we really hope that that's what will come out of this.
Oh, I love that. Let's celebrate family together. I love that. Okay, Tyler, what would you like to?
Yeah, so aside from the merchandise, right?
Aside from the store.
No, I think Steve Rockwood said it best 2 years ago in his keynote, right? He said, when we connect and belong to each other, we treat each other differently. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, right, that's the message that the world needs right now. Like you said, there's a lot going on, and I think we all need to come together, right? More unity, more understanding, more inclusiveness. And when we celebrate our heritage and learn about our past, we realize we're all part of something bigger. Yes. And so I hope that's what we create at RootsTech. And I hope that's what you come away feeling, connecting and belonging to other people all around the world.
Oh my goodness, you guys, I love that. So everyone, as we wrap up, register rootstech.org. It's free. Bring a RootsTech squad. Like, we want to support and connect with you wherever you are in the world. And what a great opportunity. Thanks, you guys. This was fantastic.
Thank you.
And follow RootsTech on all their social channels so you can, share your ideas and stay up to date on what's happening. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.